a little bit of review for simplifying from last class. We're going to be doing a lot of factoring. So we're going to factor first if we can. And a little reminder, the reason we factor is we want to change to multiplication, because multiplying you can simplify things. Adding and subtracting you cannot, even though you will be tempted, right? 5 plus 3 divided by 5 does not equal 3. You cannot cancel out the 5's. 5 plus 3 is 8 divided by 5. That is not 3. Okay? Tempting. However, 5 times 3 divided by 5 is equal to 3. Because this would be 15 divided by 5. These 5's could simplify to be 1 over 1. So sometimes you'll hear mathematicians or teachers talking about, and students talking about canceling out. That's fine if you want to say that. I don't. Some teachers are like, never use the word cancel. Well, it's technically simplifying to be 1 over 1, because 5 divided by 5 is just 1. And your 1 times table is pretty good. It's one of the ones that you're like, I got this. Right? Probably up to 1,000. 1 times 852. Wow. See, I'm continually amazed at how good people's 1 times table is. And when we practicing us, you just go, oh, you were, okay. Well, then maybe that is it. Okay, so we simplify it because it's multiplied by 1, and then that's just equal to 3. But this is why when we look at numbers, it should make sense why it has to be multiplication. But now we're into algebra. So we have, in this first one, 2a over 9. I'm just going to rewrite it, 3b squared over 5a squared. Now the rule for multiplying fractions is multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms. But if you can see things that can simplify, you may as well do them early. First of all, looking at the numbers. And I'm going to color code things as I simplify because it can get a little messy. Can you see that 3 over 9 can simplify? I could change that to be 1 over 3. So one of the things that I do before I multiply out, I look if any of my numbers, those fractions can simplify. That looks like everything for the numbers. Now, variables, it's all multiplication here. Can you see that we have an a on the top and 2 a's on the bottom? So if one of the a's on the bottom cancels out with the a on the top, or simplifies with the a on the top, then we're just going to be left with 1a on the bottom. Now, sometimes it's dangerous when we do all this crossing out. You have to be able to mentally keep track of what's happening. So on the top with my numbers, if I'm going to take a preliminary step and rewrite what I have, can you see that I have a 2 times 1, which is a 2, and I have a b squared on the top. On the bottom, my numbers are 3 and 5, that will make 15, and I have 1a left on the bottom. Sometimes you might want to just like I have some where I've canceled out so many things that in the end it just looks like a massacre has happened of slashes and lines and numbers written all over the place, and it gets too busy. Then you can get lost and end up writing the wrong numbers in the end. So sometimes you just want to simplify a little bit, see where you're at. Right now we're at 2b squared over 15a, and then check it again. Did I miss anything? Can the 2 over 15 be reduced further? No. Is there any variables that can be reduced further? No. So I've done a check over this, and I'm feeling good that this is simplified completely. Now the nice thing in B is they've already done the tough stuff for us. It's already factored for us. They're trying to make our life easier, okay? Before I rewrite the question, I might even go to the one that's up there and say, it's factored, it's multiplying. Do I have any factors that are identical? Well, this x plus 2 would cancel out with this x plus 2 because they're identical. It's a complete factor. There's no adding or subtracting in between factors, so I can cancel those out. I look if there's anything else. Can you see that you have x squared, which is x times x in your numerator, and you have an x here and an x there, so that x squared would cancel out with both of those x's. Now it's getting a little bit messy, so I'm going to see what am I left with on top. I'm left with 2 and 5, that'll be 10, and x minus 4. And I'm left with 3 times 8, that'll be 24, and that's it on the bottom. So now I relook at my question. Can the numbers simplify further? Can you reduce 10 over 24? Yes. I can divide both of them by 2. So if I divide that by 2, I'd have 5. Divide this by 2, I'd have 12. Okay. You might be tempted by the 4 and the 12, but remember that that 4 is inside brackets of the x minus 4. That x minus 4 is its own factor that can't be separated into parts. Everything that's, when you're adding and subtracting, that connects it as a factor. Okay? So, notice that I reduced the 5 over 12 from 10 over 24 at the end. I could have, right at the beginning, could you see that I could have reduced this to, oh, I wanted a different color. I'd already used red. Let's go green. I could have reduced this to 1 and 4 there already, right? I didn't this time because I thought it was already getting pretty messy. Okay? If I was doing this, I like a little bit of mess, so if I was doing this on my own, I probably would have done all the cancellations possible. But this time, it's okay. And some people like to only do 1 at a time because they tried to do 3 at a time and then they got the wrong answer. So it's fine to, hey, I'm just going to cancel the x plus 2's out, rewrite it, see what I got. Then I'm going to cancel my x's out, rewrite it, see what I got. It's fine to take your time, okay? Sometimes taking your time and making no mistakes is a lot faster than doing the fast method, making a mistake, then having to redo it because you made a mistake. So you've got to find that balance. Well, obviously, you want to do the questions so you don't make mistakes, right? That feels better when you're checking your answers that you're like, okay, I've got this right. So you have to figure out what pace is best for you. You cancel out a whole bunch of things. I'm trying to color code it here because if it's all black, okay, oops. This is what it looks like if you just use, right? And it starts to look like what the heck happened. There's a massacre of the numbers. And you're like, this is what my teacher taught me. And you're like, oh, what did they do? I don't know. They just drew a whole bunch of lines through it, and they got the right answer. So I tried a question on my own. I drew a bunch of lines, but then I didn't know what to do after that. Okay, so questions for this one are 3, 5A, 6A and B, and 11A. So try those 5 minutes. I'll come around and help.